Not to Syria, where security forces have clashed with armed opposition groups in the southern suburbs of Damascus. Government forces are actively clearing the capital of militants. Troops are also trying to retake areas out of their control zones in the city of Aleppo. Well, let's find out what is going on. Muhammad Ali is our correspondent who joins us from Syria's capital, Damascus. Mohammed, why don't you give us an update of all the developments that are happening, especially in Aleppo?
Yes, actually, what we know about the city of Aleppo is that there were some chasing operations and some clashes there, particularly in the neighborhoods of Salah ad-Din, al-Sukkari, and Hanano over there. What we know is that the security forces are chasing the armed men over there who committed acts of robbery and killing against the civilians over there, inflicting, of course, heavy losses on them, according to governmental sources. This is in Aleppo. And, of course, we know that in the past couple of 2 days, there were also some clashes between the Syrian security forces army and between, of course, the foreign-backed armed militant groups naming themselves as the Free Syrian Army in the so-called Free Syrian Army in, of course, Aleppo countryside, also in Quttan al-Jabal and in other in Hritan and other areas over there. But this was in Aleppo, of course, and its countryside. Concerning the capital Damascus, I can tell you also that in Nahar Aisha area in the capital Damascus, yesterday chasing operations continued. A lot of armed men laid down their weapons and surrendered themselves to the others of the armed men were also arrested over there in Nahar Aisha. In Al-Hajar al-Aswad also in Damascus, there were some chasing operations by the, of course, Syrian army, of course, over there. Now, what we know is that there are several neighborhoods in the capital Damascus that have been cleared from armed men, and, of course, now security over there prevails after the security forces cleared them, those areas from armed men, mainly Al-Qabun recently, yesterday, where families started to go back to their homes after they were forced out by armed men, also Al-Midan and Sayyidah Zainab. What we know is also that there are more armed men being, of course, arrested and killed, and also Al-Diabiya area close to also Sayyidah Zainab in the capital Damascus. Now also one of the new developments over here in Syria is that during the night, last night, there were some attempts of infiltration by armed men from Lebanon, particularly also from Jordan. But from Lebanon, what we know is that from Harmoush crossing and also from Bayoun over there, such infiltration attempts by armed men were foiled by the security forces and the border guards. And from Jordan also, there were some infiltration attempts. Also in Idlib, if I have time, countryside, there were also heavy losses inflicted on armed men after chasing them and clashing with them, particularly in Sahl al-Rouj area over there.
Muhammad Ali, thank you very much. That's Muhammad Ali, our correspondent over in Damascus. We're going to be actually covering Syria in depth coming up at the top of the hour after News in Brief. Do join us for that. Iran says Kofi Annan's peace plan for Syria is the only plan that can restore tranquility and end the crisis in the country. Iran's Foreign Ministry spokesman Ramin Mehmanparas says the extension of the UN observer mission in Syria shows that Annan's plan, which Tehran also strongly supports, has not failed. In contrast, Western and some Arab countries are seeking a transitional plan instead of Kofi Annan's peace plan. Mehmanparas added that foreign interference must be stopped and that only dialogue can help the Syrian opposition to reach their demands. He made the remarks in his weekly press conference with journalists. Tehran supports Annan's peace plan.